You've been lied to. They told you life gets easier. They told you growth feels good. They told you time would fix everything. No, time doesn't fix. Time exposes. And if you don't use it like a weapon, it uses you like a slave. Listen to me. This is not advice. This is a mental reset. You don't need motivation. You need reprogramming. This is not about hype. This is about war. The war between the man you see and the man you hide. Every time you snooze the alarm, every time you said tomorrow, you built a weaker version of yourself. That version is still inside you. But today, we start the execution. This isn't some speech to make you feel better. This is the voice that drags you back into the arena, back into the dirt, back into the cold where the real fighters are made. The truth is brutal. Life doesn't care how tired you are. Life doesn't stop because you had a bad week. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you fight for. So what are you really fighting for? Respect, legacy, redemption? Or are you still stuck in the cage of who you were last year? You don't need a fresh start. You need a new standard. A standard so high it breaks the weak parts of you on contact. I'm not here to inspire. I'm here to ignite. The beast isn't out there. It's not your job. It's not your past. It's not your pain. The beast is you, undisciplined, distracted, dormant, but not dead. And today we bring it back, slowly, brutally, relentlessly. From this moment forward, every word is a weapon, every sentence is a mirror, and every breath you take will either make you stronger or bury you deeper. You are not a project. You are a weapon under construction, a fighter in the forge, and the only opponent is the man you used to be. You vs you. That's the war. That's the truth. That's the Helix Gear. I train in silence. I move with purpose. You want to win? Then stop thinking like a spectator. Stop talking like a fan. Stop walking like a man who's waiting for something to happen. Fighters don't wait. Fighters don't hope. Fighters don't ask for the weather to change. They bring the storm. You think I trained for comfort? You think I became a world champion because I wanted to feel good? I trained for pain. I trained for war. I trained to destroy anything inside me that made excuses. Every single day I walked into the gym knowing one thing. If I didn't kill the weakness in me, it would kill the dream in me. That's the fight. Not the opponent in front of you, the opponent inside. The voice that tells you to take it slow, to rest, to let it go. I never listened to that voice. I crushed it. Every time it whispered, I pushed harder. I didn't care how I felt. I didn't care who watched. I didn't care who doubted. I was at war with myself, and I was winning. You want to become something else? You want to rise? Then build a fight mentality. Every minute you're awake, train your mind like you train your fists. Control your thoughts like you control your breath. If doubt creeps in, slam it. If fear shows up, break it. If comfort starts talking, shut it down. You don't need comfort. You need clarity. You need cold. You need resistance. That's where the real strength is forged. When you train while others sleep. When you run while others scroll. When you stay hungry while others are busy celebrating. That's when you start to separate. That's when the animal wakes up. The mentality of a fighter isn't about violence. It's about domination of self. It's about discipline so brutal that nothing outside can break you. You don't flinch. You don't hesitate. You don't wait for support. You build your empire alone, brick by brutal brick. Nobody claps for the rounds you fight in silence. But those are the rounds that matter. That's when you're earning the edge. That's when you're bleeding future victories into your bones. You think the fight starts when the bell rings? No. The fight starts when you refuse to hit snooze. When you eat with discipline. When you move with focus. When you carry yourself like a weapon, even on the worst day. Fight mentality is not about rage. It's about readiness. Readiness for pain. Readiness for setbacks. Readiness to go one more round when nothing in you wants to. That's the code. That's the gear. That's what separates men from noise, champions from amateurs, legends from talkers. Your mind must become your corner, not your enemy. You must corner your weakness like prey. Hunt it down. No mercy. You're not here to survive. You're here to command. You're not here to impress. You're here to dominate. And that starts in your mind every single day before your feet touch the floor. Fight for your future like it's your breath. Fight for your name like it's sacred. Fight for your discipline like it's life or death, because it is. Discipline is life. Weakness is death. You decide which one wins every moment you rise. Nobody else decides that. Not your family, not your boss, not your past, just you. The fight is always now. The fight is always you. You don't flinch, you don't wait, you don't ask, you command. I train in silence. I move with purpose. There's a war happening right now, not out there, not on the screen, not in the world, in you, inside your chest, inside your mind. It's not a fair war. It's not a clean war. It's silent. It's dirty. It's every moment you hesitate. Every time you talk yourself out of your own greatness. Every time you shrink. Every time you run from the mirror. That's the war. The weak version of you doesn't scream. It whispers. It tells you you've done enough, that no one's watching, that one day off won't matter. That little voice, that's the enemy. It's been with you for years. It knows all your weaknesses. It knows where to attack. It's dressed like your comfort. It talks like your best friend. But it's poison, and it wants your throne. See, you don't lose to other people. You lose to yourself. Long before anyone else gets a chance. You lose when you compromise. You lose when you make excuses sound noble. You lose when you trade progress for peace. That version of you, the one that sleeps in, breaks routines, skips the grind, that version wants to win this war, and it will, if you let it. But the good news? You have a weapon. You have a fighter inside you that doesn't care about comfort, applause, or sympathy. That fighter was born for this war. That fighter is built from every scar you carry, every wound you've hidden, every time you got back up without applause. That's who you really are. But he's been starved, silenced, buried under distractions, likes, food, noise, weakness. Now it's time to wake him up. And that doesn't happen in one day. It happens when you make a decision, a real one, not a wish, not a fantasy. A decision to kill the version of you that's been holding you back. Execution, not motivation. You don't negotiate with weakness, you replace it. You don't fix the old self. You bury it, and you rise. You build, you command. It's not going to feel good. It's going to feel like hell, because you're not just training your body, you're retraining your identity. And that hurts, that breaks, that burns. But on the other side of that burn is the man you were born to be. The man who doesn't flinch, the man who doesn't lie to himself, the man who walks into every room knowing exactly who he is. That man is not built on comfort. He's built on discipline, on fire, on truth. The truth that you've been hiding behind your own softness. Every time you skip the gym, every time you check your phone instead of checking your soul, every time you chase validation instead of domination, you're feeding the enemy inside. But that ends today. You're not here to improve the weak version. You're here to eliminate it. You don't get stronger by healing the enemy. You get stronger by killing it. That's the war. It's not about others. It's about you versus you. And the battlefield is every hour you live, every choice, every thought, every breath. Are you feeding the beast or feeding the coward? Are you walking into war or running into comfort? You know the answer. You feel it. And now you've got to fight it. You've got to live like the battle never ends, because it doesn't. You've got to train like there's no finish line, because there isn't. You've got to rise like your life depends on it, because it does. Nobody sees this war, but it's real. And only one of you survives. Only one of you walks away. So pick. You or the old you. You or the fear. You or the comfort. You or the lies. Make the decision. Bury the old. Burn the excuses. And rise. I train in silence. I move with purpose. People fear being alone. They fear silence. They fear sitting in a room with nothing but their thoughts. But that's where the real work begins. That's where champions are forged. In isolation. No applause, no noise. Just you. And the truth. You don't build power when people are watching. You build power when nobody knows what you're doing. You build power at 4 a.m. when your hands are shaking, but you don't quit. You build power when you repeat the same discipline every day like a sacred ritual. Isolation is not punishment. Isolation is privilege. The weak crave noise. The weak chase distractions. They need someone to validate their grind. But the beast? The beast trains in silence. The beast disappears, so it can return unrecognizable. You want real growth? Stop performing. Stop posting. Stop announcing. Start vanishing. Start studying. Start sharpening. You want results that can't be denied? Then live in a way that can't be ignored, even if no one's looking. I trained when nobody believed. I trained when I had nothing but hunger and obsession. I trained because I knew the world would see it, eventually, but I had to see it first. You want power? Then go where the silence is. Go where the weak break down. Go where the lonely find themselves. There is no shortcut to transformation. You have to disappear from who you were. You have to walk into the fire, naked and unknown. No cameras, no followers, just repetition, just struggle, just raw identity being built one brutal habit at a time. Isolation strips the mask. It removes the performance. It exposes your habits. In that quiet, you meet the real you. Not the version you show the world, the one you try to avoid. But in that darkness, if you stay long enough, if you stop running, something new starts to form. A rhythm, a hunger, a voice. Not the voice of fear, the voice of certainty. The voice that says, I was made for this. I was made to train alone. I was made to suffer in silence. I was made to crush weakness with nothing but my will. Most people can't handle that kind of silence. They need noise to feel alive. But you're different. You're not looking to feel alive. You're looking to become unstoppable. You're not trying to impress. You're trying to evolve. You're not seeking attention. You're seeking war. And war doesn't happen on stage. It happens in the shadows. It happens when no one claps, when no one checks on you, when you wake up, grind, bleed, repeat, with zero recognition. But that's where monsters are built. That's where the soul gets weaponized. In silence, in structure, in solitude. That's where the Helix Gear is assembled. Piece by piece, through pain and repetition. You become the man no one saw coming. You walk back into the world with shoulders wider, mind sharper, heart colder, eyes clearer. They ask where you've been, and you say, underground, building, preparing, forging. You want your power back, then isolate, strip it down, get quiet, let go of the noise, let go of the outside world, let go of who you were, and build, alone, build a new rhythm, build a new standard. One so high that nobody needs to clap because the results speak louder than words. Isolation is the cocoon, the grind is the fire, and the beast that walks out, that's you. Not the you they knew, not the you they doubted, the real you. Built in silence, made in fire. You train without needing praise. You grow without asking permission. You execute without blinking. That's the discipline of isolation. That's the law of becoming. I train in silence. I move with purpose. You've fallen. So what? You've failed. Good. You've been broken, betrayed, humiliated. Perfect. That's where it starts. That's where the fire begins. Comebacks don't happen in highlight reels. They happen in the dark. They happen when everything is gone and all you have left is breath and the decision to keep going. I've been there, on the floor, forgotten, hated, alone. But that's where I remembered who I was. That's where I rebuilt. Pain is not your enemy. It's your blueprint. Every setback is a signal. Every failure is feedback. Every scar is instruction. You don't climb back by pretending it didn't happen. You climb back by using it. That's the code. You don't deny the pain. You study it. You don't numb the wounds. You read them. You don't run from the ashes. You rise from them. Pain isn't the opposite of power. Pain is how power is born. You want to come back stronger. Then stop hiding your losses. Put them on the table. Own them. Name them. Use them. You think your story's over because you got knocked down? That's not how legends are made. That's how they begin. When I was at my lowest, nobody clapped. Nobody believed. Nobody called. But I kept showing up. I kept training. I kept bleeding in silence because I knew something they didn't. I wasn't finished. And neither are you. You're not broken. You're rebuilding. You're not lost. You're reprogramming. And if you do it right, you'll return with something nobody can measure. Unshakable identity. Comebacks aren't just about results. They're about roots. Deep roots that grow when life cuts you down to nothing. You don't need a crowd. You don't need validation. You need discipline. That's it. Daily. Ruthless. Discipline. You rise by repetition. You climb by commitment. You transform by force. And not the kind of force the world sees. The kind they never will. The kind that grows in your soul when everything else falls apart. The comeback isn't loud. It's surgical. It's daily. It's private. Until it's undeniable. And when you return, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, you carry something no one can take. Fire earned in failure. You think I feared losing? I feared being the man who gave up. I feared living as a shell of what I was meant to be. You fear failure? You should fear regret. You should fear the version of yourself that stays comfortable in the shadows of what could have been. That's the real enemy. That's the version we're done with. This is your comeback season. But only if you treat every day like a battlefield. You don't come back by accident. You come back by war. By rewiring your thoughts. By controlling your time. By mastering your breath. By carrying your pain like fuel, not weight. You don't rise because they let you. You rise because you refuse to stay down. And when you do, you become something else, something rare, something dangerous, something rooted in truth. You don't have to talk. You don't have to prove. You walk into rooms differently. You carry energy forged in fire. You don't ask for respect. You command it. And it's not about revenge. It's about redemption. Not for them, for you. Because you know what you survived. You know what it cost. You know what you rebuilt when no one believed. And now you move with clarity, with quiet, with cold precision. You're not looking for the spotlight. You are the spotlight. You don't flinch. You don't fade. You rise, and rise, and rise again. Because comeback isn't an event. It's a mindset. It's a pattern. It's a decision made every day to become unrecognizable. Not to them, to your former self. That's the comeback. That's the code. I train in silence. I move with purpose. Power doesn't come from one big moment. Power comes from repetition. Quiet, unglamorous, brutal repetition. Every single day. The beast is not built in adrenaline. The beast is built in rituals. You want to evolve? Then build your system, your code, your sacred order. Wake up early, before the world has a chance to weaken you, before the noise floods in. Open your eyes with intent, not confusion. No phone, no scrolling, no input. You command the day, you don't receive it. Breathe deep, slow, controlled. You are not reacting, you are constructing. The beast does not move because the clock says so. The beast moves because the mission is active. Visualize, not dreams, identity. See who you are, not what you want. who you already are, beneath the weakness. You're not fragile. You're not tired. You are forged. You are fire wrapped in skin. You don't try to become. You return to what you always were. That's the ritual. That's the code. Cold water, clean fuel, structured time, stillness. You don't beg the mind to focus. You train it. You focus through fire. You repeat mantras that break the old code, not affirmations, declarations. I move with power. I train in silence. I am unbreakable. I don't skip. I don't ask. I build. That's the language now. Your rituals are not optional. They are orders. You follow or you regress. Period. You don't need a mood to act. You act. And the mood follows. This is how machines think. This is how beasts operate. With rhythm. With clarity. With rules. The world worships goals. But goals are nothing without systems. Everyone wants to be disciplined. Few are willing to live like it. You will. Because your rituals aren't for the body. They are for the soul. Your discipline is your prayer. Your repetition is your sacrifice. Your silence is your temple. You are not grinding to impress. You are grinding to remember. Every set, every rep, every breath is a return to your code. And when the mind fights you, you don't argue. You don't slow down. You execute. That's how you dominate the day, before the day even starts. The beast doesn't wait for pain to pass. He trains through it. He moves with it. Pain becomes part of the rhythm. The code is unbreakable because it is lived, not spoken. You don't need people to understand it. They won't. You just need to repeat it until it becomes instinct, until the world feels off when you break it. That's the power of rituals. They make chaos impossible. You no longer think in terms of motivation. You think in sequences: morning, breath, silence, training, focus, clean fuel, cold water, stillness, precision, no input, no compromise. That's how you move. That's how the beast lives. You don't need hype. You need protocol. You don't need inspiration. You need identity. Because you don't rise to your dreams. You fall to your systems. Build a system you cannot fall through. And do it in silence. No praise. No posts. No trophies. Just order. Just execution. Just command. Your rituals must become sacred. Because when life attacks, your rituals are what hold the line. When emotions crash in, your rituals remain steady. When doubt creeps in, your rituals speak louder. Move, train, breathe, focus, repeat. You are not guessing. You are executing. You are not seeking. You are anchoring. Ritual by ritual, the beast becomes unstoppable. And one day they ask how you did it. They ask how you transformed. And you won't have an answer they understand. Because it wasn't one thing. It was everything. Every morning, every hour, every silent repetition when no one saw. The beast is not created by big moments. The beast is created by sacred ones. Silent, ruthless, consistent. I train in silence. I move with purpose. You made it this far. That means something. It means the old you is already dying. It means the new you is already moving. Quiet, sharp, focused. You're not like them anymore. You don't think like them. You don't breathe like them. You don't walk into rooms with your head down hoping to be accepted. You walk in with your soul on fire, with your code intact. You've been rewired. You've been rebuilt. You've been burned down to the bone and restructured from silence. You don't train for the mirror. You train for the mission. You don't grind for attention. You grind for honor. Your rituals are sacred. Your words are weapons. Your days are numbered, and you know it. So you don't waste them. You sharpen. You execute. You move. You've become what most men only dream of. Someone they can't predict. Someone they can't manipulate. Someone who doesn't fold, doesn't scroll, doesn't beg. You've stopped reacting. You've started commanding. That's power. And it doesn't come from money, fame, or followers. It comes from identity. Quiet, forged, and brutal identity. You don't need to be told what to do. You already know. You don't need reminders. You are the reminder. Every move you make echoes discipline. Every breath you take carries meaning. You don't rise hoping to become a man. You rise remembering that you already are one. You are not building confidence. You are building certainty. You are not pretending to be strong. You are proving it every single day. You don't ask for opportunities. You create them. You don't chase approval. You walk away from anything that doesn't match your standard. You don't doubt. You decide. You don't shrink. You strike. And now there's no going back. You've crossed a line most never will. You've entered a realm where only the disciplined survive, where only the self-made thrive, where the world can't touch you, because your soul belongs to the fire. So carry this forward. Don't let this be a moment. Let it be a mutation. Let it be the line where your life splits in two. Before this and after. Before this, you waited. After this, you lead. Before this, you broke. After this, you built. Before this, you hesitated. After this, you moved. From now on, everything you do speaks one message. I am not who I was. I am built different. I am built by fire. I am built for war. I train in silence. I move with purpose. So what now? Are you going to scroll back to your old self? Or step into the ring as the man you were meant to be?